It's Tim Albright with AVNation with an AVNation special with Rony Sebok from One Beyond. Welcome, ma'am.
Hello. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much. Rony is going to join us, actually join Megan Dutta, my buddy Megan Dutta from SCN, at the AVNetwork Nation event December 10th. You can hang out with Rony and Megan. They are going to be on the panel called Back to Reality. That panel specifically happens from 11 to 12 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. rather, Eastern time on December 10th. Again, you can sign up for all of that at AVNetworkNation.com. Rony, though, this year has been interesting, especially for camera folks like yourselves. So what did you guys learn? What impact did COVID into 2020 have on One Beyond?
Yes. So very unfortunate, the pandemic, but obviously for a lot of people in the video conferencing market, it's been an incredible business opportunity. So One Beyond specializes in camera tracking technology. We are the experts in motion tracking, facial tracking, voice activated tracking. We've been selling product for over 6 years to universities and corporations. But there's been a huge burst in our business, obviously, as a result of now increased use of video technology. One of the things that we're seeing with COVID, as everybody experienced, obviously everybody was stuck at home initially, but now as people are transitioning back in, there's this hybrid work environment where some people are remote and some people are in the classroom, and we're using larger spaces now than we did before. And we need cameras in spaces that we didn't need before. And that's an area where the One Beyond automation and tracking technology comes in, because you can hands-free walk into a room and the cameras follow whoever it is that's talking. So a remote person really feels engaged in their meetings. We've had some incredible installs at Northeastern, UVA Darden, Babson, Holt International Business School. These are schools that were really thinking ahead and trying to figure out how to give that remote student the best experience of the classroom.
Yeah. Well, one of the things also, what are you guys finding in the corporate space? One of the things that has been a huge boom for integrators the last 5 to 6 years is the huddle space. And now, you know, almost the executive boardroom now is a huddle space, and I'm being somewhat facetious, but you know, these boardrooms and these conference rooms that held 10 people now held 5, right? Or the CEO now is going to the executive boardroom to have a virtual meeting with everyone else on the board. So what are you guys seeing in the spaces and how corporate America is adjusting their use of their real estate?
That's exactly what we're seeing. So whereas you might have crammed 3 people into a small huddle room in the past, people don't feel comfortable with that. The CEO's not having meetings in his office. He's going to the boardroom instead. What that means is this is an area that I believe is a huge opportunity for the AV industry, and obviously fits well with One Beyond's product line. The larger spaces, the larger boardrooms, the town hall spaces, the multi-room spaces, this is where people are going to be meeting. Whereas that might have fit 30 people before, it's 2 or 3 or 5 people spread apart. We're on Zoom with remote people. You want to see people close up. So a camera tracking technology that can focus in on whoever's talking has a lot of value. And this is what, frankly, the CEOs want right now. We're getting a lot of calls. High quality video is extremely important to them. And it's important to everyone. We're all thinking about how to communicate with each other better.
You mentioned the high quality video, and we've talked to you a little, mostly here about the spaces, the official spaces, I guess is the best way to put that, whether that's in education or corporate. But you touched on something at the very beginning here, and that is the home market, right? And this is an area where some integrators are feeling some trepidation, because when we start talking about the home market in pro AV, in commercial AV, this is a gray area, Rony. And so what are you guys talking to integrators about and dealers about helping their clients when they are at home having good quality video?
Right. Exactly. It's interesting. That is obviously you know, the CEO now wants to set up his own little, you know, video space at home. That's an area that you know, people are addressing. One Beyond's focus is on the larger spaces in the office, not in the home. It really is to enable those people that are in the office to interact with the ones that are at home. Many people are doing pretty well with their laptops and phones, you know, or webcams. It really what we're focused on is that corporate meeting space that may not have had cameras before or had a wide shot of the room that is just not cutting it when you're on a Zoom call with lots of remote participants.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the needs that you guys are finding that are different than maybe they were a year or 2 years ago?
Well, certainly, and this has been a trend. So all of the things that we're seeing now are accelerated from what people wanted before, but it's really a room where the professor or the CEO or whoever's in the meeting space doesn't have to think about video production. They want to go in there and have the video on, be as though there were a camera crew there, but they don't want to be sitting panning and tilting cameras and pointing cameras or selecting cameras. A teacher needs to focus on the education. A meeting, somebody who's managing a meeting needs to focus on the meeting. And the technology just has to work. And they don't want to touch anything. You know, you're hearing like even voice commands to start a meeting, right? And automatic detection of, is the room divided or combined? The technology is now making it so that the room, it's AI, a little bit of AI, right? The room knows what's going on. The equipment knows what's going on. Our equipment adapts. If the room is divided, we'll use the cameras in just this part of the room. If it's open, our system will use all the cameras in the wider space. And it all just happens automatically. Somebody doesn't really even have to tell the system what's going on. So that and multi-use spaces. So you need a camera system that's flexible, whether the room is set up as a training room or a U-shaped room or you know, breakout tables in classrooms. The camera system has to adapt to how the room is being used. And it's an area that, frankly, I mean, I think One Beyond is leading in this area. We've been at it for over 6 years now, thinking, and we've had a lot of experience adapting a lot of rooms. And the product continues to evolve and improve. And it's just been, I feel good about being able to help people during this difficult time by providing solutions that really make their lives easier. And that keep us connected. That's really what it's all about is, you know, video has been a lifeline for all of us. I'd rather see you in person, frankly. Yeah. But this is much better than if we didn't have this technology at all.
Well, talk about that for a second, because you've mentioned a couple of things here, and that need for video, but it's the quality video and it's the ability to maintain that connection. Talk for a second about some of that intelligence in the back end and that automatic switching that really does help folks, you know, present the kind of the best foot or the best face forward in the corporate space.
Right. So one of the things we're focusing on is really giving people the experience as though you had a production crew. So clean cuts from camera to camera so that you don't see camera movement. Anticipating when to cut from one person to another in a room is really important. There's a lot of intelligence built in. Figuring out, for example, one of the things One Beyond can help with is identifying what microphones make sense for a given room, because the microphone technology you pick ties in with your camera tracking, especially the way we're doing it in larger spaces, picking up the audio and making the audio sound good as well as the video is very important. So One Beyond has a professional services team that works with our customers to identify what the best technology is for a given room beyond just the cameras.
All right, very good. Rony, as we wrap up here, I would be remiss if I didn't pick your brain on the future of this space. We will get back to the office, not 100%. Most experts say we're not 100%, but we will eventually get back to the office at, you know, at a greater than 50% capacity here. What are you guys seeing happening in you know, the video space when we do get back to work at a 75-85% capacity?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people would agree that I don't know that work will ever return to the way it was before. because some people actually like working remotely and have now proven they can be effective at it. And I have a feeling that we are going to remain, this is a big change. So whereas before you were expected to go to the meeting room or the boardroom, and you were not really, it was looked down upon that you would join the meeting from remote. I believe, and the trend appears to be, that it's going to be more acceptable for somebody to join a meeting remote, which means, again, this technology is going to have a use beyond the current COVID environment in universities as well. There's an opportunity to teach remote students, and this was happening already with regional colleges, having a professor in one space, teaching satellite classrooms elsewhere. The technology is accelerated now, and that is going to become, it's possible, and it's going to become more accepted because people are already used to it. So any investment that people make in video technology right now in their classrooms is going to pay dividends in the future. Schools are going to attract students because they provide a better video experience. Schools are going to be able to attract remote students and work facilities. Frankly, if you can offer a good flexible work environment, I think you will attract employees. So this is an opportunity for AV integrators and AV technology companies to really help businesses expand and their capabilities in ways that will improve profitability and make employees or students happier.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll give you one more on the education front, and to kind of flip it a little bit. It's also going to give colleges the opportunity to bring in some high-profile professors on a temporary basis or a visiting basis remotely, right? So you have, an expert in archaeology, let's say, right, who happens to be at a dig site somewhere in the world. They can then come into, whether that's Harvard or here locally, SLU or Wash U, remotely, right? So that right there is also going to be an interesting trend to watch. So
it's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rony Sebok from One Beyond, thank you so much. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that, or One Beyond?
Yeah, please come to our website, onebeyond.com, or write into sales@onebeyond.com.
All right, very good, Rony Sebok. You can check her out and the rest of the crew talking about getting back to reality. Rony's session happens the 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 p.m. next Thursday, December 10th. That is all a part of the AVNetwork Nation event that we're helping our friends over at SCN produce. You can check out more about that and register at AVNetworkNation.com. Rony Sebok from One Beyond, thank you so much. Again, for us, you can go and register for the event, AVNetworkNation.com. It's AVNetworkNation.com.